Hello and welcome back to the Collectors Club. Welcome to the unboxing of the Time Jet from Mirai Sentai Time Ranger, or also known from Power Rangers Time Force. This thing has some years to it. Time Force aired in 2001 and well, it's 2026, so it's 25 years. That's a bit. When I think about my collection, for starters, the Zords, when I think about Power Rangers, is my go-to. For me as a collector for the future, I want to have every Zord that was on camera in Power Rangers. Yeah, I know there's Sentai, which is bigger, but I mainly watch Power Rangers. I want to have that on a shelf. And I always considered my Time Force collection complete. Well, to a certain point, 99% complete. I always was hanging with myself like, is it complete or is it not? The stuff I will unbox today is the little piece, the last thing that always was, well, yeah, kind of like, hey, do you want me? This was like, kind of like nagging me like, hey, look what you're missing in your collection. It is small, it's an expensive item, and at this point I paid a price where I'm happy with. I had it on my watch list on eBay. There were multiple, but the price was always too much, like $350 and more. And the one I got now is roughly $200 and a little bit like $220 or so. And I'm lucky that I picked that up because for once, yeah, it's used, but it's still in great condition for the price. And yeah, the next best thing would be like $800 and up. So no, not paying that much money for that little item. When I think about Time Force as a set piece on the shelf, like the Time Jets, the Q-Rex, the Shadow Force, or even the Transwarp Megazord, as a whole, that thing always was missing. And people who think like, what you're talking about, why do you need that for your Zord shelf? So Megazord has two modes, and for the second, for the blue mode, he has a gun, which is the ship from the Rangers. But if you want that, you have to get that separately. That wasn't in the box with the Megazord, which is a shame. In Japan, it came with little minifigures, and here in the western part of the world, I think it was part of Bandai's minifigure collection, whatever. You had that on a card at some point, but I seen stuff which didn't look good and appealing, so I didn't pick that up. The Time Jet we're talking about is not this one. I have this for years now. It's pretty nice. I had it flying over the Zords, over the bay with the jets in the past. I had it on fishing lines, so it looked like, okay, it's going through the portal, but it's still too big. I bought it because I seen it was cheap at the time. I seen a bigger crate. I was like, hey, I bought some Power Rangers stuff this year. It has been like 5-6 years ago, and like this is one of my most expensive pickups, and it was like, he said like 200 or so, similar what I paid now 5 years plus later. And this was like 60. It came with a little roleplay item where the Rangers, well, in the show it was like this, where the Rangers had the villains, the monsters, frozen, encapsulated, and it came with a badge from the, I think from the Quantum Ranger. No, the Quantum Rangers came with the Morpher, I think, or the Q-Rex. I don't know, it's been a while. But I have both badges and it came with one or the other. I think it came with the regular badge. This also is a blaster. We're talking about this set today. It's pretty small, as I said. And yeah, it's in good condition. I've seen other ones which wanted like $30 less, but the jet itself, the cannon, was yellow. And as I said, this is used, but it has a great condition. I'm not an inbox collector, but I think for inbox this is still great. Other people might be correcting me on this one, but let's have a look inside. It seems this never has been completely opened. It was cut on the box, on the tape, but here this can be taken out. This is a huge size difference. This is the main part besides the thing below. We'll have a closer look in a moment. And then here we have minifigures of the 5 main Rangers, which can go in separate cockpits from the main Megazord. I will show that in a second. Let's get us some room here. And this also is part of the set, which, well, this is kind of a play set. You put the time jet on here and can eject it over the floor basically. The 2 parts connect as a whole. There are pegs below the one, and you can have this pushed out per button press. So this has rolls. And this is the basic idea. Put it on here, give it a go, and if you're unlucky, you destroy it. This is heavy, it has weight to it because it's metal part wise. And I'm super happy that I bought it, even if it's just a odd little thing you don't really need. But I'm really weird with this. Things that's on the show and it's part of Zord, I need to have this. The Life Force Megazord from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue was in the finale in 2 episodes. It's just a black and gold version of the main Zord and the Solar Max Zord in combination. So the Solar Max Megazord, I think, is the correct name. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, it was in a show, so I wanted it and I bought it years back. There are multiple black and gold versions of different Zords, like the Soul of Chogokin Megazord, or like the Dino Megazord as we know it. And I don't really need those. If I see something like that cheap for 50 to 100 bucks and I'll feel like it, I might pick it up. But in general, it's nothing I need because it was on the show. Anyways, so as I said before, Megazord has 2 modes. There's this red mode, which comes with a sword. No worries, I still have the shield, but I didn't bother combining it. So if you have the 5 time jets, you put that together, and each time jet has a cockpit. For example, let me see. So the easiest way is getting a leg off, and here you can open this up, and there goes a figure inside. So if you wanted to, you could take these here and put one of each in the cockpit. You will not see them in jet mode unless you have the cockpit open. I might do that for display, I don't know. Other than that, you can put them on here, left, right, on the wings, 2 here, and well, 2 here, 2 go here, and red goes in here. So you have actually a possibility to display them here. I will have this hanging on the shelf below this ceiling of the shelf, and well, on top of the portal, which is pretty nice. And of course, this sword has, as I said, a second mode, the blue mode, which is holding this as a gun. This little one transforms the same way as this gun does, as this thing. This was a prop on the show. They had this in a case, so if you own this, you have a show prop technically. And it's maybe just me being a little talking crazy here, but I love having this complete. And if I see another, maybe let's say 2 Time Force Megazords, or Time Robo, when we're talking Sentai, for a good deal, I buy another 2, because we have a blue mode, we have a red mode, And we have the time jets, so I kind of wanted to display them all on the shelf. I normally don't do that because, hey, their Zord is there once and then you display it in good. But yeah, as I said, I may be doing that. But I mean, who buys Sentai stuff knows the quality of this, but if you don't, if you just stumbled upon this and you know and love Power Rangers, if you collect starting out or collecting for a while now, I cannot stress this enough, try to get the Japanese version of a toy. There are little to none exceptions where I would say, okay, you would choose one over the other. In that regard, choose the American over the Japanese toy. The Wild Force Zords, for example, or Gao Ranger did something a bit better than Japan, because the things on the shoulder pads here for the Zords, in Japan they were stickers, and in the US they were like painted on, so that's where you like, there's a plus there. Besides some metal parts and missing electronics, lights and sounds, that is, from, let's talk Power Rangers here for a second, from Mighty Morphin Season 1, or Jew Ranger if we want to go Sentai, to up our latest season would be Cosmic Fury. So where do you start and where do you stop? So I have stuff from my childhood, which is still, yeah, Power Rangers toys from the West, from America, or from, in my case, from Europe. You cannot go wrong there, from Mighty Morphin to Mystic Force, because that's the same mold, besides, as I said, missing electronics or sounds. Besides some metal parts were replaced with some gray plastic, the molds are the exact same thing there. So if you buy something from Season 1 up to Mystic Force, doesn't matter really. Everything after that, I would say, just go for the Japanese stuff. Jungle Fury might look like it's the same, but the ports are different. I said it in the past. And I will wrap up in a second, but I'm just in the topic, and if I'm excited for something, I just had to get those thoughts out of my head, sorry. And from there onward, they were pretty similar, but as I said, slightly different with the ports. So if you have Jungle Fury Resorts, US and Japanese, they cannot combine. If you have this is in Megazord, a Time Force Megazord from France. This is compatible with the Time Robo, the Shadow Force Megazord, better said. I don't know the Japanese name for that one, but the other second Zord, which is compatible, they can combine. Same goes for like Megazord and Dragonzord and stuff like that. But if you have the main Megazord from Jungle Fury, and you have the Japanese, and then you have a counterpart version, let's say the Shark Zord from Europe or from America, they cannot combine because of different pegs, different ports. Anyways, everything after that is just getting worse, because at some point we got Zord Builder. For smaller kids that might be fun, for collectors it's not good. Even for some kids I wouldn't consider it fun, because if I say let's go, I know this season is, for most people, Super Mega Force, the Red Lion Zord there. The Japanese one is golden. It's huge, it has lights and sounds, it looks great, it's sturdy. The American one is small, no lights, no sounds, and it falls apart the moment you look at it. Yeah. Anyways, my main goal was this set here. I can highly recommend this for the right price. I wouldn't recommend it for buying it for like for 800 bucks or more, because this is basically, it's just that what I want. This one will go into storage, and the little figures will go on here, I guess. And this finally completes my Time Force setup on the shelf. 200%. I maybe go 120% or 150, depends on what you want to name it, if I buy another one of these, or two even. And yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for the support, and we see us next time in the Collectors Club when it's time for an unboxing.